Red Buttons was an American comedian and actor. Early life. Red Buttons was born Aaron Quat on February 5, 1919, in New York City, to Jewish immigrants Sophie and Michael Quat. At 16 years old, Quat got a job as an entertaining bellhop at Ryan's Tavern in City Island, Bronx. The combination of his red hair and the large, shiny buttons on the bellhop uniforms inspired orchestra leader Charles Dinty Moore to call him Red Buttons, the name under which he would later perform. Later that same summer, Buttons worked on the Borscht Belt. His straight man was Robert Alder. Red Buttons was working at the Irvington Hotel in South Fallsburg, New York, when the master of ceremonies became incapacitated, and he asked for the chance to replace him. In 1939, Buttons started working for Minsky's Burlesque. In 1941, José Ferrer chose Buttons to appear in a Broadway show The Admiral Had a Wife. The show was a farce set in Pearl Harbor, and it was due to open on December 8, 1941. It never did, as it was deemed inappropriate after the Japanese attack. In later years, Buttons would joke that the Japanese only attacked Pearl Harbor to keep him off Broadway career. In September 1942, Buttons made his Broadway debut in Vicky with Ferrer and Uta Hagen. Later that year, he appeared in the Minsky's show Wine, Women and Song. This was the last classic burlesque show in New York City history, as the Mayor LaGuardia administration closed it down. Buttons was on stage where the show was raided. Drafted into the United States Army Air Forces, Buttons in 1943 appeared in the Army Air Forces Broadway show Winged Victory, along with several future stars, including Mario Lanza, John Forsythe, Kyle Malden and Lee J. Cobb. A year later he appeared in Darryl F. Zanuck's movie version of Winged Victory, directed by George Cukor. Buttons also entertained troops in the European theatre in the same unit as Mickey Rooney. After the war, Buttons continued to do Broadway shows. He also performed at Broadway movie houses with the big bands. In 1952, Buttons received his own variety series on television, The Red Buttons Show, which ran for 3 years, and achieved high levels of success. In 1953, he recorded and had a two-sided hit with Strange Things Are Happening, the Ho-Ho song, with both sides, songs essentially being the same. His role in Sayonara was a dramatic departure from his previous work. In that film, co-starring with Marlon Brando, he played Joe Kelly, an American airman stationed in Kobe, Japan during the Korean War, who marries Katsumi, a Japanese woman, but is barred from taking her back to the United States. His moving portrayal of Kelly's calm resolve not to abandon the relationship, and the touching reassurance of Katsumi, impressed audiences and critics alike. Both he and Umeki won Supporting Actor and Actress Academy Awards for the film. After his Oscar-winning role, Buttons performed in numerous feature films, including The Africa Adventure Hatari, with John Wayne, The Adventure 5 Weeks in a Balloon, the war epic The Longest Day, the biopic Harlow, the disaster film The Poseidon Adventure, the dance marathon drama They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, the family comedy Pete's Dragon, the disaster film When Time Ran Out with Paul Newman, and the age reversal comedy 18 Again, with George Burns. In 1966, Buttons again starred in his own TV series, a spy spoof called The Double Life of Henry Fife, which ran for 1 season. Buttons also made many memorable guest television appearances on programs including The 11th Hour, Little House on the Prairie, It's Garry Shandling's Show, and Roseanne. His last regular role was as a homeless man on CBS, Knots Landing. He became a nationally recognizable comedian, and his "Never Got a Dinner" routine was a standard of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast for many years. He was number 71 on Comedy Central's list of the 100 greatest stand-ups of all time. Buttons received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for television, his star being located at 1651 Vine Street. Personal life. Buttons married actress Roxanne Allen in 1947, but the marriage soon ended in divorce. He married Helene McNaughton on December 8, 1949, and they divorced 1963. His last marriage was to Alicia Pratts, which lasted from January 27, 1964, until her death in March 2001. Buttons had two children, Amy Buttons and Adam Buttons. He was the advertising spokesman for the Century Village, Florida, retirement community. Buttons was an early member of the Synagogue for the Performing Arts, and at the time, Rabbi Jerome Cutler was the rabbi. Death. Red Buttons died of complications from high blood pressure on July 13, 2006, at age 87 at his home in Century City, Los Angeles. He had been ill for a while and was with family members when he died. His ashes were given to his family after cremation. Filmography.